What up, United USA 2020 and beyond? So, I just wanted to elaborate and share some thoughts about what's going on in Australia. Please feel free to join in the conversation and drop your comments. Besides, it is a free country for now. The reason why this conversation is so important is simply because if it could happen there, it can happen anywhere. And this is what most people don't realize. And you say, well, hey, United USA, what the hell can I do? What can I do about this? Well, the answer is right in front of you. You have to use your voice. If everyone speaks up enough, we have to let them know our civil rights are being violated, and it is unacceptable. What up, YouTube? What's going down? Chilling. Yeah. Back again. Yeah. Hope y'all are having a good day. Hope y'all had a good Christmas. What do we got going on? Well, as far as Australia, I just want to point out a couple things. Number one, it seemed like the Chinese regime was putting a lot of pressure on Australia going back to the beginning of last year as far as the coal industry, right? Because the contracts and import-export deal that they have getting a substantial amount of coal from Australia, China obviously has a vested interest. It's not the only spot on the globe, but there's a lot of places in in certain industries that, well, it's not just China, but every place kind of has like their hands. I mean, any country and big corporation has their hands in whatever big type of market, especially when it comes to fuel, right? We're talking about natural gas, talking about coal, oil, refinement, anything to do with fuel. Obviously, energy is big business. I think that's common sense. But what I'm talking about is that it was interesting how in this last year, how there was so much pressure that was put on Australia. Next thing you know, they start with these policies that seem more draconian, anything but democratic. And actually, let me remind some people that are from different parts of the globe, Australia technically is a democracy. I mean, they have, they're part monarchy and democracy, but it would be a place that up until this past year, if someone had asked me, do you consider Australia a free country? I would have said, yeah, of course, absolutely. But when it comes down to it, this is what I'm saying. Now, I'm in the Southwest out here, Phoenix, Arizona, USA. I'm going to tell you something right now. You got people like, what's his name? The Prime Minister of Australia, Scott Morrison, and Prime Minister of UK, Boris Johnson, right? Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. It seems like all these guys are along with the Great Reset, right? We talked about Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum. Come on now, you know what's up. So what's amazing is that I thought this stuff was going to happen on Barack Obama's watch back when he was president. And what's very interesting is that his vice president, Joe Biden, is now the president, which is basically like Obama's third term in the White House. It's kind of like Obama, it's like, in my personal opinion, it's like Obama finishing what he never got to complete his mission. Does it make sense? He's trying to finish what he never completed, finish what he started. And now I think it's quite obvious, getting back to what's happening in Australia. People say that couldn't happen here in the United States. For example, I talked about a video that I did last year, Democratic Bill A416 in New York City, which says that if you have certain radiation levels, you can be put in a quarantine camp. I know this is crazy. I'm going to do a whole separate video about that. That's unbelievable. But it states that if you're infectious or show signs of infection, or you were in a close proximity to somebody who was deemed infectious, you can be taken into 14-day quarantine. Now they're talking about, I read an article that was talking about an 8-day quarantine. I don't know what that's all about. I saw a couple articles that said 8 days. One was 7 to 10 days. Another one was, 14 days. I saw another one that said and I think this is true actually going back to Australia. Sorry, I'm skipping around a lot, but Australia was saying that if you didn't comply for whatever reason and broke certain rules, you could be committed for an additional 14 days. 14 days, and then 14 days. By that time, you would lose your apartment, right? Bills stacking up, get fired from your job. I mean, basically, the government can just destroy your life, boom, in one fell swoop. So what's happening here in the United States, I think we're a hop, skip, and a jump from that possibility. A416 in New York states that if someone is deemed infectious or you were around someone that was infectious, cops will just show up at your front door. Sorry, you got to quarantine. Like in Australia, they're telling them $5,000 fine if you don't quarantine. You know, people are saying, why can't I just quarantine in my house? They're like, nope, you got to go to the internment camp. You got to go. You got to go over here. You got to go to the FEMA camp, the internment camp. It's crazy. So it's not just here in America or Australia, but Europe. I mean, this is going to be an issue, and we're going to see a lot of things, as I've been saying, in the next decade. A lot of things change, but sooner than that, just in the next year or so, the next year or two, in places where we claim that we have freedom, I think we're going to see those changes, and more than see the changes, we're all going to feel the repercussions of those changes in one form or another. Whether a person is vaxxed or unvaxxed, it doesn't matter. I think this is going to affect everyone's lives on a broad spectrum. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Smash that like button. Check y'all in the next one.